What was the heart of Paul's message? Have you ever wondered, in the quietest part of your soul, how to truly become right with God? It is the one question that defines every human life. People have tried many paths to become right with God. Religion, consisting of rituals, ceremonies, traditions. Morality, one striving to be a good person. Law-keeping, a person attempting perfect obedience. Knowledge, a student studying theology and doctrine. Works, one relying on charity, sacrifice, and service. Mysticism, someone seeking spiritual experiences and feelings. The problem is that none of these can remove the separation between a holy God and sinful humanity. Isaiah says in chapter 64, verse 6, "All our righteousnesses are like filthy rags." The issue is deeper than behavior. It is a condition of the heart. The Apostle Paul understood this and therefore taught that apart from Christ, we all fall into one of two deadly traps. Today, we look at the heart of Paul's gospel and the only way to avoid the traps. The first error is lawlessness. This is the path of the sinful flesh. When we believe that we are no longer under the law, but under grace. It is not always the result of open rebellion. Sometimes it stems from what we have been taught in our churches or from a misunderstanding of certain Bible verses. The law, however, is not just a set of rules. It is the expressed will of God. It's what love and holiness look like in action. To reject it is not just a mistake. It is a declaration of war against the Creator. Paul identifies the root of this rebellion in Romans 8, verse 7. He writes, "Because the carnal mind is enmity against God, for it is not subject to the law of God, nor indeed can be." Notice those words, nor indeed can be. The carnal mind isn't just unwilling, it's unable. This isn't about willpower, education, or trying a new strategy. The very nature of the flesh is at war with God. You cannot renovate what must be crucified. To attain holiness, something entirely new must take place, a transformation of the heart. But there is a second error, and it's far more deceptive. It looks like zeal, discipline, and commitment. This is self-righteousness, the attempt to fulfill God's law through human effort. Paul uses the people of Israel as a case study. They cherished the law and pursued righteousness with everything they had, yet they missed it entirely. Why? Because they brought the carnal mind to a divine standard. They tried to force the flesh to meet a spiritual requirement. It never worked, and it never will. Romans 9 verses 31 to 32 explains it clearly. But the people of Israel, who tried so hard to get right with God by keeping the law, never succeeded. Why not? Because they were trying to get right with God by keeping the law instead of by trusting in Him. They stumbled over the great rock in their path. Self-righteousness stumbles because it still trusts in self. This isn't just ancient history, it's our story. Anyone trying to earn God's approval through performance will stumble over that same stone. But Paul opens a third way, not a compromise, but something categorically different, a narrow way. Christ in you, the hope of glory, Colossians 1 verse 27. This isn't Christ beside you as a helper, or above you as a judge, but Christ inhabiting you. He works through you, producing in your life what the flesh never could. This is the mystery Paul stakes everything on, the narrow way that changes every answer and transforms every heart. That stumbling stone, the great rock in the path, is Christ Himself. And here is the turn. The very rock that self-righteousness stumbles over is the only foundation that holds. Trusting Him isn't about your religion, your theology, or your works. It's trusting His Spirit to do from the inside what you could never do from the outside. Paul makes this personal in Galatians 2 verse 20. "I have been crucified with Christ. It is no longer I who live, but Christ lives in me." This isn't about trying harder or suppressing your nature. It's about complete surrender, crucifying self, so that Christ may live in us. The righteousness the flesh could never produce is now imparted from within. Paul still lives, but Christ has become the source of his life, strength, and power. Does this mean the law no longer matters? No, certainly not. Romans 8:4 explains that the righteous requirement of the law is fulfilled in us who walk according to the Spirit and not according to the flesh. This is the heart of Paul's gospel. What the flesh could never achieve through human effort, the Spirit produces by living within us. The law is not your enemy, striving in the flesh is. The Spirit of Messiah meets God's standard from the inside for His glory. Paul ends where he began. How do we become right with God? Righteousness is not produced by abandoning God's law, nor by striving to keep it in the flesh. But through faith, the Spirit of the Messiah is imparted to us. And the righteous requirement of the law is fulfilled in us as we walk according to the Spirit and not according to the flesh. The answer is a declaration. There is therefore now no condemnation to those who are in Christ Jesus. Romans 8:1. Not based on your performance or track record, but because you are in Christ. When His Spirit lives in you, the law finds completion in your life. This isn't lawlessness or self-righteousness. It's the life of Christ made visible through a people transformed by His Spirit. You don't need to try harder. You need Jesus. And He is enough.